What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Pitching Ninja's Filthiest Pitches of the Day, the World Series edition. Before we get to those pitches, remember, hit that subscribe button and join Ninja Nation. We have tons of stuff planned for the offseason, including interviews, live streams, and breakdowns of classic pitchers. So hit subscribe and turn on notifications, and without further ado, here are my filthiest pitches from World Series Game 2. I'm going to start with Merrill Kelly, and honestly, I could end with Merrill Kelly, because he was dominant. Kelly was really the entire story of this game, picking up 9 strikeouts in 7 innings on 3 hits. He only gave up 1 run, and that was on a Garver home run. Kelly picked up 10 whiffs for the game and really spread them out among his changeup, cutter, four-seamer, slider, and curveball. He picked up whiffs on 5 of his 6 pitch types, and though he didn't pick up a whiff on his sinker, it was still an important pitch for him. He picked up 5 called strikes on his sinker, and it helped set up his other pitches. The key to Kelly's outstanding performance was his ability to locate on the edges of the zone. He had this cutter at the knees and painted with his four-seamer and two-seamer. His ability to nail the edges of the zone also helped set up some bad swings. Look at this sword he gets on Semien. And this was on a slider that was set up by this changeup earlier in the at-bat. Here's an overlay of Kelly's changeup and slider. You can see Kelly saw Semien chase that changeup, which was running back to the plate but was at the edge of the zone and low. So he tunneled this slider with the changeup, and Semien thought he was getting another changeup, but instead got the slider that ran away from the plate, and by the time he realized it wasn't going back to the plate, it was too late to stop his swing. Here's another overlay of his fastball and curveball, and you can see how that fastball helps set up the sword on the curveball. He tunnels those pitches, and as a hitter, you're keying off that fastball, and if you get a curveball, you're hosed. Lastly, here's an overlay of a sinker and a changeup, and you can see how both of those pitches run to the edge of the zone. And Kelly's able to pick up the whiff on that changeup because it's located really well and it tunnels with that sinker. Even the home run that Kelly gave up was on a good pitch. I mean, check this out. This is a sinker just below the zone, almost perfectly located. And it's just a really good job of hitting by Garver. Not all home runs are on mistakes or bad pitches. Sometimes the hitter just wins. Kelly was also helped by this nice barehanded play by Christian Walker. This is just like we draw it up in spring training. After the game, Kelly talked about his mental approach, which was to treat every pitch like it was the biggest pitch of the game, and also how he had an oh shit moment warming up for the game.
You know, if you look at the Philly game, at least game 2, I think that's where I got beat, is I just didn't execute well enough. So my focus since then, and even before then, but my focus since then was just purely pitch execution, trying to just take one pitch at a time. Almost the feel of this is the biggest pitch of the game, and then once that pitch is done, have the same mindset going forward as far as the next pitch. Sitting there and thinking through what I was about to do and where I am and the stage that I'm on, I think was more of the realization for me. The fact that I was preparing to pitch Game 2 of the World Series. I think that was probably more of the oh shit moment or whatever you want to call it.
Kelly outdueled Jordan Montgomery, who went 6 innings, giving up 9 hits, not so nice, and gave up 4 runs and had no strikeouts. Probably the highlight of the game from Jordan Montgomery was this pickoff, totally catching Pham leaning the wrong way. Now, if you look closely, I think I've picked up the Rangers pickoff sign. It's kind of subtle, but if you notice Jonah Heim here, he's pointing like a maniac and screaming to throw to second base.
Have no strikeouts.
This is where you should start. You get these detailed breakdowns that only Pitching Ninja can notice. This has to be something the Rangers work on all the time. Okay, Jordan, you're going to count silently in your head to 2, letting the runner get a bigger lead. And stealthily, Heim is going to point like crazy to second base and scream at you to throw. Sheer brilliance. You might remember earlier in the playoffs, Sonny Gray and Correa had that great back pick, where Correa signaled to the dugout signaled to the catcher, and they put on that back pick via PitchCom. Well, Montgomery and Heim's pickoff was kind of old school. We don't need no stinking PitchCom when I have a finger and a mouth. I guess that's what you get when Leonardo DiCaprio is your catching coach. Now onto my filthiest relievers. Honestly, this game wasn't really about relief pitching. But Chris Stratton had this elevated curveball for a K, Martin Perez had this elevated backdoor cutter for a K, and Luis Frias had this filthy backdoor slider, as well as this amazing pickoff attempt. Again, just like we draw it up in pitcher's fielding practice. Or maybe he was just making sure that Christian Walker was still awake. And now my Pitching Ninja moment of zen. This is a great Randy Johnson Halloween costume.